persons with disability are not liability to society. That if taught, if trained, if empowered, they can become useful not only to themselves, but to society at large. Orobosa is a true testament to that fact. My name is Kingsley Okoje. I'm saying join us same time on same station for another exciting edition of the program, Hitches and Voices. Till then, spot the hitch.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
ITV. Certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.
Activities. As operational level commanders, you must play a vital role in fostering innovation in your troops and articulating research and development efforts within your various places of deployment.
Earlier, the commandant of the college, Major General Umar Ali-Kali, described the institution as pivotal in preparing senior officers for contemporary and future security challenges.
The theme of your course, harnessing indigenous technological innovations for enhanced national defense, should guide your engagements and encourage closer study of local solutions that can strengthen national capability. While drawing lessons from other regions, remain conscious of the shared and transnational nature of the threats confronting us. I further encourage you to devote significant attention to the leadership and interagency aspects of the curriculum.
The course, which formally commenced on February 2nd, has 100 participants, including 85 officers from the Nigerian Army, as well as officers from the Navy, Air Force, and allied nations. From Abuja, John Taina, ITV News.
Now, a member of the House of Representatives from Edo State, Billy Samaru, has called for the budget of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to be placed on first-line charge as provided in the Constitution, with funds released fully and promptly to ensure effective planning and execution of its responsibilities. Osaru made the call at a joint sitting of the House Committee on Electoral Matters and the Senate Committee on INEC Budget Defense, held at the National Assembly of Abuja in Nigeria. Organi Victor reports that over 873 billion was proposed by INEC Chairman Joash Amupiton for the conduct of the 2027 general elections.
At the joint sitting of the House Committee on Electoral Matters and the Senate Committee on the Independent National Electoral Commission was convened to scrutinize the Commission's 2026 budget proposal. INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amopiton explained that the sum of 873.778 billion naira would be required to successfully conduct the 2027 general elections. Contributing to the discussion, Honorable Billy Usawaru called for INEC's budget to be placed on first-line charge, stressing the need for the timely and full release of funds to enable proper preparation for the polls.
And now the grand total is 873 billion 778 401 602.08.
If you look closely at everything that had to do with this budget, it even got to a stage where INEC had to start with distributing what was released. So I want to move a motion here, sir, that knowing fully well that it was for a good reason that INEC falls into this category of first line charge, I want to move a motion for a full implementation of the first line charge for everything going to INEC to be implemented. I so move.
Other concerns were raised by the chairman of the joint committees, particularly regarding personnel and the devices deployed during elections.
As the electoral process grows in scale and complexity, so too is the demands placed on the Commission, ranging from voter registration and logistics to electoral security, technological department, voter education, and post-election review mechanisms.
That's when INEC was responsible for over-promising, for saying, making IREF look like a portal where you can start viewing the result on the screen like CNN.
The Joint Committee subsequently approved a motion recommending the one-time release of the Commission's annual budget. From the National Assembly, Organi Victor, ITV News.
In another report, the Independent National Electoral Commission has announced that the 2027 presidential and National Assembly elections will hold on February 20, 2027, with governorship and state houses of assembly polls scheduled for March 6, 2027. The INEC chairman, Joash Amopiton, disclosed the election timetable at a news conference in Abuja on Friday. He said the action is taking pursuant to the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended and Section 28, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022, which mandate the Commission to publish the notice of election not later than 360 days before the dates appointed for the election.
Governorship and state houses of assembly will be 6 March 2027. The detailed timetable and schedule of activities have been uploaded to the Commission's website this morning and circulated, or is being circulated to registered political parties and relevant stakeholders.
Amopiton said a detailed timetable and schedule of activities had been uploaded to INEC's official website and circulated to political parties and stakeholders.
To strictly adhere to the timelines, the Commission will not hesitate to enforce compliance with the law. The Commission remains committed to deepening the deployment of technology to enhance transparency in the electoral process, ensuring the continuous cleaning and updating of the National Register of Voters.
Moving on, Catholic priests, religious leaders, and faithful from the Diocese of Wukari and Jalingo, Taraba State, have strongly protested in Jalingo, the state's capital, condemning the continued mass killings of farmers in parts of Takum, Donga, and Usa local government councils of the state. Carrying placards of various inscriptions, The protesters expressed frustration over what they described as the seeming indifference of relevant authorities. The protests, tagged a solidarity walk, was held to draw attention to attacks on communities in Chanchaji ward of Takum, where the worst of the violence occurred. The protesters claimed that the area has recorded over 80 deaths within 90 days, according to church sources, while thousands have been displaced and properties destroyed. A spokesperson for the aggrieved persons, the vicar pastor of the Catholic Diocese of Wukari, Very Reverend Father James, noted that the attacks had resulted in the destruction of more than 200 churches and communities, adding that the violence was a direct violation of the constitutional rights to freedom of religion of affected residents. They gave a 4-point approach to the resolution of gross security challenge, including urgent mobilization of security personnel to the outlying areas where the attacks are occurring and articulating all levels of government to ensure security guarantees and bring those responsible to justice through their immediate arrest and prosecution, irrespective of their ethnic, political, and religious affiliations. They asked for a concerted effort to provide emergency aid to internally displaced persons, including food, bedding, and medicine, to avert a major humanitarian disaster, as well as key players in the affected areas, including traditional rulers, religious leaders, security agencies, and local government chairmen, to hold constructive dialogue to foster long-term peace and stability in southern Taraba State.
Persons have been killed so far, several others injured with various degrees of injuries, while over 200 communities and churches have been destroyed, and the residents, numbering over 90,000 Catholics, displaced. The suspected militia who carry out these attacks usually come in the wee hours, mostly while people are sleeping, and launch the attacks, killing anyone in sight and setting houses and harvests ablaze. Have also taken over the entire farmlands of the people and would attack anybody who dares to visit his farm in an attempt to get food for his family.
Other senior clerics from the Wukari Diocese at the protest were Father Anthony Baturi, Father James Yaro, Father Moses Angian, and Father Augustine Shifu. Now, the Arewa Consultative Forum have raised serious concerns over the worsening insecurity across northern Nigeria. The chairman of the forum, Maman Usuman, speaking at the 79th National Executive Committee meeting of the forum in Kaduna, described the security situation in the region as grave, devastating, and deeply troubling, warning that terrorism, banditry, insurgency, and kidnapping are escalating across several states. Addressing members of the forum at the ACF Secretariat, the chairman said the region continues to face tragic loss of lives, widespread displacement, and the destruction of rural livelihoods. He cited recent incidents in Kwara, southern Kaduna, Katsina, Benue, and other affected areas, noting that repeated attacks have violently uprooted families and entire communities. According to him, the humanitarian consequences are severe, adding that overcrowded displacement camps, limited access to food and health care, and the disruption of education have compounded the suffering of the victims. He also noted that schools in several communities have been forced to shut down due to persistent attacks, while farming activities, the backbone of rural economies, have been significantly disrupted. The ACF chairman warned that travel in many parts of the northern region had become unsafe, discouraging access to healthcare services, markets, and schools. He further noted that insecurity has deepened to such an extent that external military assistance has been required in some instances.
This election season has produced convoluted groups ahead of the 2027 elections. Terrorism, armed banditry, insurgency, and kidnapping are on the rise, as witnessed in Kwara, Southern Kaduna, Katsina, Benue, and other locations. The consequences have been devastating, with families and communities violently uprooted and displaced. Repeated attacks and the climate of fear have disrupted education, leading to school closures across affected areas. Rural economies have been severely strained, travel has become unsafe, and access to farming, schooling, and healthcare has been discouraged.
Usman stressed that the worsening security crisis demands urgent and proactive engagement by stakeholders, particularly state chapters of the forum. He emphasized that the forum must move beyond rhetoric and adopt principled, sincere, and action-driven approaches to address the region's challenges. Now, Edo State's government has flagged off a campaign against cultism and drug abuse across some secondary schools in Edo South Senatorial District, with a call on stakeholders to take the campaign to the grassroots and ensure cultism is completely eradicated from the state. The Strategic Enlightenment Campaign against cultism and drugs abuse focuses on secondary schools across the 18 local government areas. Government House correspondent Kingsley Uchigbu has the details.
The anti-cultism and illicit drug abuse sensitization led by Governor Monday Okpebholo follows the enactment of the Secret Court and Similar Activities Prohibition Law 2025, repealing the 2018 legislation to impose harsher penalties on court-related violence. Governor Okpebholo, represented by his Principal Security Officer, Saturday Oko, in company with the coordinator, Operation Flush Out Kidnappers and Cultists, Idemudia Noah, took the sensitization to Ihogwe College, Oba Kenzo the Second Senior Secondary School, Edo Boys High School, and others.
Learn to keep good company. Avoid bad friends, because they will lead you to destruction.
The governor has zero tolerance to cultism, and the Cultism Act is in place 21 years, and he said, and he has particularly emphasized on this, that the brilliance where they breed cultism is secondary school.
A resource person, Dr. Chris Okaka, commended Governor Okpebholo for the initiative, urging students to avoid involvement in cultism, illicit drug abuse, and peer influence to enable them contribute positively to societal development.
Tell you they have objectives, it's a lie. Any objectives that kill people is not an objective. Do you know they kill people?
Principals and students in the schools visited commended Governor Okpebholo for the initiative and appealed for the creation of anti-cultism clubs in secondary schools across the 18 local government areas of the state.
When you say no to cultism, you are doing the right thing.
The junior section to the senior section, beware of your friends. Friendship is one thing that can lead you into destruction.
The cultism in any area, we find them fighting or doing things that is not good if you say no to them.
The anti-cultism campaign continues in Edo Central and Edo North senatorial districts. From Benin, Kingsley Uchegbu, ITV News.
Moving on, the Department of State Service has filed an ex parte motion before a Benin High Court requesting for Usaze Adu, popularly called Kapwepwe, to be remanded in prison for 14 days pending an advice from the Department of Public Prosecutions ahead of a proper arraignment for the assault of a media icon, Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki, in Benin City. The case came up on 12th of February 2026 at the High Court and was presided over by Justice R.A. Ubevoye. However, When the case was called, counsel to the DSS brought before the court an ex parte motion requesting the court to order that the defendant, Osaze Adu, be remanded in the correctional center as the court awaits advice from the Department of Public Prosecutions. Leading the defense counsel, Olayiwola Afolabi SAN, supported by Collins Ugiegbai and 5 others, argued that the matter before the court is bailable in line with the fundamental human rights of an individual. He pleaded with the court as he submitted the bill is at the discretion of the court. The presiding judge, Justice R.A. Ubevoin, admitted the defendant to a bill to the tune of 5 million naira in like sum with a surety who is resident within the court jurisdiction. The judge further ruled that the surety must be a civil servant of grade level 12 and above. The judge also ordered the defendant to appear in court every last Friday of the month, pending the advice of the DPP on the matter. Recall that Dr. Pedro Obaseki was on 28th of December 2025 molested by some youths in Benin City. The barbaric and ugly incident prompted his petition to the Department of State Service. Now, as the Argungu International Fishing Festival continues in Kebbi State, aspiring young engineers are showcasing their innovations at an agricultural exhibition held as part of the event. Correspondent Umar Mohammed, who covered highlights of the day 2 of the event, has details.
The ongoing Argungu International Fishing Festival is gradually gathering momentum as thousands of participants from across Nigeria and beyond troop into the historic town of Argungu to witness the colorful activities. Day 2 of the festival featured an agricultural show, local boxing and wrestling competition, cycling displays, animal skin tanning, and a tug-of-war contest between butchers and fishermen. The fishermen, however, emerged victorious. An overview of the agricultural show reveals the vast agricultural potentials of Argungu and Kebbi State at large. Various farming groups, including the Rice Farmers Association and the Cassava Growers Association, used the platform to call for increased government financial support to boost food production. Beyond crop and livestock exhibition, the event also provided an opportunity for young aspiring engineers to present their locally developed innovations, drawing admirations from visitors and stakeholders. Other highlights of the day include thrilling local boxing booths, cycling competitions, as well as cultural songs and dances that entertained the crowd. Meanwhile, the Kebbi State Commissioner of Agriculture, Alaishewu Argungu, was turbaned at the Sarkin Noma, or King of Farmers of Kebbi State, while Hajia Zuwaira Argungu was also turbaned as Kebbi State Farmers Queen. The festival will continue with the Grand Doba procession and the highly anticipated fishing competition, where prizes ranging from cash awards to cars and other vehicles are expected to be won. From Argungu, headquarters of Argungu Local Government Area of Kebbi State, Umar Mohammed, ITV News.
We'll take a short break now, after which the news continues. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, the Edo State Police Command says it has recorded significant breakthroughs in its sustained fight against crime across the state, with the arrest of scores of suspects and the recovery of arms, ammunition and stolen property. The Commissioner of Police in Edo State, Monday Agbonika, disclosed this while addressing journalists during the command's end-of-the-month press briefing held Friday in Benin City. Jolade Ojo has the details.
According to the police commissioner, the command has, since January 2026, arrested 87 suspected kidnappers, 14 suspected armed robbers, 13 suspected murder suspects, and 15 suspected cultists. CP Monday Agbonika attributed the achievements to sustained intelligence-driven operations carried out across Edo North, North Central, and other identified flashpoints in the state. He further revealed that several kidnappers' camps located deep within forests have been dismantled, leading to the reopening of routes previously considered unsafe. Within the period under review, the command also recovered 6 stolen vehicles, 3 motorcycles, and 39 mobile phones.
With the aid of helicopters and drone technology, gallant and dedicated police officers have conducted several high-risk joint operations moving from forest to forest. Beyond arrests and recoveries, we have rescued 30 kidnapped victims, many of whom were rescued unhurt. We have also dealt a major blow to the instruments of violence. A total cache of arms and ammunition has been recovered, including 2 fabricated AK-47 rifles with 6 rounds of live ammunition, and AK-47 rifle with 30 rounds of live ammunition. We have also recovered 5 cut-to-size single-barreled shotguns, 28 ding-guns, and 1 Makarov pistol, a Beretta pistol, a double-barrel shotgun, and 20 live cartridges.
The commissioner warned that Edo State is no longer safe for criminals, stressing that no forest hideout or criminal network is beyond the reach of security agencies.
The tempo of our operations will not only be sustained, it will be intensified. Let this season of love be one of peace, not recklessness. Stick close to the command's emergency lines and promptly report any suspicious movement or distress situation.
From the command headquarters in Benin, Jolade Ojo, ITV News.
Moving on, the abductors of 9 worshippers at St. John's Catholic Church, Ujiji, in Utonkon, Ado local government area of Benue State, have demanded a ransom of 100 million naira. The victims, comprising women and youths, were holding a vigil at the church when they were abducted around 2 a.m. on Sunday. According to a family member of one of the victims, who spoke anonymously, the abductors first made contact with the families on Wednesday and demanded the sum of 100 million naira. The source added that during negotiations in the early hours of Thursday, the kidnappers reduced the ransom to 30 million naira. The source further said security agencies have been deployed to the area, but they have yet to apprehend the kidnappers and rescue the people. The Benue State Police Command spokesperson, DSP Udeme Edet, is yet to officially comment on the issue. Moving now to the world of entertainment, Nigerian singer Innocent Idibia, popularly known as Tubaba, and his wife Natasha Osaru have publicly dedicated their newborn son in church ceremony. The intimate but celebratory dedication took place over the weekend, attended by close family members and friends. The ceremony comes barely 3 months after the couple welcomed their first child together in November 2025. Following their traditional wedding earlier in the year. Despite the lingering public attention on his high-profile divorce, the heartwarming event sparked excitement online. Now that's the size of our package on ITV News at 11. I am Chuku from Nanya Digwe. Thank you for watching. Good night.
ITV.